Hey there, welcome to a new episode of Kyusho Korner. I'm Sensei Mish, and this is a special episode for me. Actually, this is part one of a multi-part series. The whole episode originally was going to be about an hour long, and I really wanted to make it a little bit more palatable to people. Some of my regular subscribers, I know you guys would sit through an hour, but that's a long time to most people. So I broke it up into pieces. Now, this is in response to a little episode I put up, and not actually an episode, it was just a video. I mean, this came out before Kyusho Korner was a thing. But about 7 years ago on the Vulcan neck pinch, it was just me doing the neck pinch, just kind of me playing, showing, hey, you can do this. Got some really great questions of, oh my gosh, how did you do that? Oh, this, and then some stupid responses, and then some hate. But that's okay. But this episode, you know what? Over 7 years, I put in some research, and I have really come up with something what I think is amazing, and I hope you guys think it's amazing. Super special. Now, of course, I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't a Star Trek fan. And I know you guys, my regular subscribers, you probably already know, I am a major Star Trek fan. Huge influence in my life. I've actually got another huge Star Trek project coming up in September, but we'll get to that later. But there's meaning in everything, including the day that this episode premieres. So if you can tell me why this date is important, send me an email. There's my Kyusho Korner email. You can send it to me, and then I'll put your name in a little hat, and we'll draw a winner by next week, before next week's episode, and you'll get a special prize. Don't know what it is. Actually, I kind of do know what it is, but I'm not telling you. What is so special when it comes to Star Trek about this date? Email me. Now, you can also, this is multi-part, you can also watch episode 2 today as well, which this episode, we're going to get into some, some behind the scenes stuff. How did the thing come about? How was it used in the franchise? How did I take martial science, Western science fiction, bring them all together into 1,000 points of light and create something so amazing that really anybody can do. It's actually super easy. So you can watch that. I encourage you, but you can also cheat and go to episode 2. The link is in the description below. It also drops today. Okay, kind of going back to why is today so special in Star Trek history. Let's see. If you're new here, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate your support. I appreciate everybody who has subscribed. And if you like the episode, give us a thumbs up. We'd love to see what you think. And I comment, but at the end. Wait till the end. Don't comment before you watch the material. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to stop babbling. Let's get to the episode. So, for all of my viewers, for my regular viewers, I'm a Star Trek fan. And, of course, pressure points, the Vulcan neck pinch, nerve pinch, whatever you want to call it, that is something that you can do. This video proves that it's a reality. Now, I'm going to be real with you. This is truly for demo's sake. I mean, do it for demo. Don't do it for real. Try it in a real fight. Unless, of course, you've practiced it for hours and hours and hours on multiple people, and you have that right, perfect timing to reach in and pinch. Because honestly, this is not combat applicable. It could be, but it's not yet. This is for demo's sake. So, for all of you haters out there who want to pull the video out of context, make sure you pull this part out too, because this is for entertainment purposes, but I do encourage you to try it at home, but being careful, and we'll get to that. First, let's get into the origins of the neck pinch. So let's go back to the 60s. They're filming the original Star Trek series, specifically episode 5. Now we know this one as The Enemy Within. This is where Kirk beams to the Enterprise from a planet. There's a transporter malfunction, and he gets split into two, an evil Kirk and a good Kirk. Now, there's this one confrontation about halfway through the episode where you have the evil Kirk is about to kill the good Kirk with a phaser. And Spock walks up behind him, puts his fingers on his neck, pinches, and the evil Kirk goes unconscious. Wow. What did he just do? So the way that scene was originally written was that Spock was to pull out his phaser and he hit evil Kirk over the head with it. Yeah, that doesn't make sense either. If you pull out your phaser, phase him, don't kill him. You can stun him. That's what the stun thing is for. And then you've just done that same thing. But the way the script was written, hits him over the head. Well, Nimoy really didn't like that. He was like, this is a little bit archaic. I'm tired of playing all of these characters that, beat people up and, punch people for no reason. So he goes to the director, Leo Penn, and he kind of states his case. And he's like, look, this character, he's an alien. We can do anything. We can use our imagination. We can make the audience believe anything we want about aliens. Maybe this guy knows something about the human anatomy that we don't know. Maybe he has special powers, something like that. And so Leo's like, okay, I follow you. What do you have in mind? So Nimoy grabs Shatner. He tells him what he's going to do, comes up behind Shatner, puts his fingers on Shatner's neck. Shatner freezes up and he goes to the floor. Leo Penn loved it, made it into the episode, and the neck pinch was born. Now, we have seen the neck pinch done several different ways over the years, mainly by Vulcans. We get kind of an inkling that it's not an only Vulcan thing, because in the episode Omega Glory, Spock and Kirk are in separate cells. Kirk is fighting with the bad guys, and Spock kind of saves him by reaching through his cell into the other cell and neck pinches one of the gals and she goes unconscious. Well, Kirk is like, I wish you could teach me that. And Spock's reply was, I have tried, Captain. So we all know Spock. He's a pretty logical dude. He wouldn't try and teach Kirk this if Kirk couldn't do it. So special powers? I don't know. So let's cover the neck pinch in some episodes where it wasn't necessarily used by a Vulcan. So it takes almost 20 years for us to see a non-Vulcan attempt a neck pinch. And of course it fails. I mean, really? Have a non-Vulcan do a neck pinch? Now, this was in Star Trek III, Their Search for Spock. Dr. McCoy is trying to charter a space flight to the Genesis planet. He's got Spock's Katra inside him, and his plans are foiled by a Starfleet security agent. In their discussion, he tries to get away and reaches out, neck pinches the security guy, and the security guy's like, you're going to have a good rest, Doctor. So he tries it, it fails. And that's okay, because I think it was the conflict between him and Spock over the years that got in the way of him being able to perform a perfect technique. Or maybe it was just the writers. I mean, it could be either way. But, Star Trek fans, we got to theorize, Now, over the series, we've seen the neck pinch done by non-Vulcans. The first one we see is Data. He is an android, not even human, but, he's got, I don't know, however many teraflops of information in his brain. So he should know the technique. And they did it in the episode Unification Part 2, which had Spock in it. So, of course, a nice little touch on Spock. And it even has it when he does it, Spock is like, not bad. So, but then about a season later, we see Picard do it in Starship Mine. Now, I get that he would be able to do it because he had a very deep mind meld with Spock's father, Sarek, about 3 seasons prior. We see Odo do it in DS9. Don't know how he knows, but the character is about 300 years old. The actor, who I'm not even going to attempt to say his last name because no matter how many times I hear it, I butcher it when I actually say it. But he has actually come out to say, because it's not really addressed that, oh wow, that's something new that Odo can do. He just says, well, Odo's a man of many talents. Now, we see 7 of 9 do it. I get that she'd be able to do it because, of course, she's a Borg. Borg had assimilated Vulcans, and so she may have kept some of those memories. She did that in the episode The Raven. That was a 4th season episode. We get to see Captain Archer do it in a 4th season episode of Enterprise. So again, he has Surax Katra in him. So I think this was the episode Kashara. So again, he has that knowledge. And the last or the most recent, I'm not really a Discovery person. I know. But we see Michael Burnham do it at the very beginning, the very first episode of Discovery. And, most Spock pinches or neck pinches, you just reach up and do it. Or even in a struggle, it's kind of that nonchalant, come in. In this episode, Burnham just goes, snap! Oh my gosh! It's like she struck her in the neck. But it makes sense that she got to do it too, because, well, the character grew up with Spock and his family. So she grew up on Vulcan. She would know this information. So the way they've taken the characters now none of this has really been explained of, oh, this is why they know. This is all fan theory, some of my thoughts, but it makes sense. So writers using non-Vulcans to do the neck pinch, I think that it's been chosen logically, which is nice. But can we do it? Can we make this a reality? Absolutely. And that's what we're getting to. Now, as we get into this, for you guys who are watching this that are not martial artists, we've got pressure points. Now, Kyusho Korner is a pressure point education series. And as I go through the techniques, I'm going to be pointing out certain pressure points. So when we talk about pressure points, we're talking about points on the body that you can touch, hit, strike to create pain, okay? Each point has different ways it can be activated. It can be activated at different angles. Some you can only activate one way, okay? These are the same points that acupuncturists use to heal. Martial artists, Kyusho Jitsu people, we use those points to create body dysfunction and incapacitations. So it's the same points. Now, when we go over, when I go over the techniques, I'll actually point out those points. And in fact, I'll actually put them in the description below to direct links to the videos, because all the points that I point out today in today's video, points have already been done on those, so you can go back and learn those, okay? But when it comes to pressure points, yes, it's more associated with acupuncture, Kyusho Jitsu, etc. But when we look at it from a Western point of view, the body has nerves that go through it. Anywhere a nerve branches off, anywhere a nerve crosses, anywhere a nerve bundles, those are actually pressure points, what we would know as pressure points. So there is a Western perspective and a traditional Chinese medicine perspective. It can be both, okay? Now energy, Nimoy uses the term energy. He's talking about, a little electrical thing, a little electrical energy that can come off of Vulcan fingertips, possibly. Well, we're going to look at that as chi, or a bioelectrical energy. Now, martial artists, even acu-healers, we believe, some of us believe, that you can take your own chi or utilize chi and project it into somebody else to enhance or create a dysfunction or incapacitation. Great. That's wonderful. Science hasn't proved that yet. But science has proven that we do create, the human body does create its own electricity, this bioelectrical energy, okay? And, but it just hasn't been proven that you can transfer it. Now, I believe it can be done because I have done it and I have felt it done. There's nothing like it when somebody just lightly touches you and you feel like you've been hit with a hammer. And I'm not talking about no touch. I'm actually talking about physical touch and feeling like you've been dropped to the floor and you're like, you barely touched me. Okay, this light touch stuff. That is energy transfer. Believe it or not, that's okay. But that's kind of where we're going from on that perspective. Now, in this book, The Making of Star Trek, I actually had 2 copies. This is a first edition. Gene Roddenberry actually wrote about the Spock pinch, talking about how it is, the right hand goes onto the right neck and shoulder area, pinches nerves and blood vessels, blocking signals to the brain, and the person goes unconscious. Now, I don't know how much Gene knew about the human body, but he really wasn't off base too far. I mean, he got it pretty cool. There's another scene, fast forwarding like decades, in Voyager. It was a first season episode, Voyager, called Cathesis. Kes has been knocked out and she's got contusions on her neck. And the doctor's talking to Tuvok and he says, it's almost as though she had sustained great trauma to her trapezius nerve bundle. Now, there are nerves in the trapezius muscle. I really wouldn't call them bundles, but they are supplied by the spinal accessory nerve and another one I can't think of off the top of my head, but that all supplies information to the head. So Voyager, whether you like Voyager or not, they actually weren't too far off base either. So we have Star Trek, blurring the lines between reality and science fiction. So taking all that information, interviews, TV shows, blending it all together, we can actually make the neck pinch a reality. And I've done that. So part of this, and we are getting to the neck pinches, I promise you, I've basically standardized 4 levels of dysfunction. So first dysfunction would basically be you going up, hitting some points, and the person going, ow, or maybe the person just kind of looking at you like, what are you doing? Okay, that would be a level 1 dysfunction, okay? You are getting some type of reaction, whether it's like, are you an idiot, or ow, all right? Level 2 is you're going to get some type of, maybe a little bit of bending of the knees, maybe the person backs away, there's some type of pain, you're like, okay? You're going to get a bigger dysfunction. Level 3, that person's actually going to go to the ground. Now, they're not going to fall on the ground, but but it's one of those where they could bend over. They're going to go to their knees. They might even go to the knees and touch the ground. They're going to, but they'd be able to get up without issue. You wouldn't need to help them up. They could get up by themselves. A level 4 dysfunction, the person's going to go to the ground. They are not going to be able to interact with their environment, but they may actually be able to hear you and see you, but they're not able to react. All the way up to them actually blacking out into a full knockout. All of those levels I would consider unconscious, because even though the person can hear you and see you, if they can't interact, they're unconscious to me. So I said earlier in the video that there are 4 basic applications, okay? More so basic positions. So, and I've named them after episodes or movies that they were either first in or where it was kind of a more memorable scene. So the first one is the rear attack from behind. Of course, I'm going to name that Enemy Within. That's the episode that it was created from. It's the first time we see that specific application done. The second one, Menagerie, is a cross hand from behind. Now, it's not the first time we've seen this specific application done, but to me, it's the most memorable. The first time we actually see this done is in The Naked Time, but that aired before Enemy Within, the actual episode where it was created. So, the Menagerie it is. The next one is same side frontal attack, okay? This is called Edge of Forever, from City on the Edge of Forever. Specifically the scene where Kirk distracts a cop, Spock goes up, neck pinches him, left to right shoulder. So the next one is crossbody from front. Call this the Voyage Home because it comes from Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. This is actually specifically the scene where Kirk and Spock are on a city bus in San Francisco. There's a punk rocker who's actually named in real life. His name is Kirk. Anyway, little tidbit of information there. Anyway, punk rocking out. They ask him to turn off the radio. He flips him off. Spock goes over, neck pinches him. So you've got the 4. Enemy Within, Menagerie, Edge of Forever, and Voyage Home. Let's get to the techniques. Okay, what'd you think? Kind of interesting information. You know, there was some stuff that I learned as I was kind of going through research that even as a major Star Trek fan, I didn't know. So I think you'll like the entire series. Now, if you want to know everything, because I'm not putting everything on video, I wanted to. Actually, I did, but a lot of that stuff ended up on the editing room floor. You can buy the book. Now, yes, this does say sample, but this is all in a book. Check this out. I've got pictures, okay? How you do it. I've got pressure point information. It's so cool. Now, this is being published. It's an on-demand published through Amazon. It's going to be published as of today. It might take a couple days for the link to show up, just in case, because it does take a couple days in reality. So once that link is good, it'll be on there, and you can pick up a copy either to laugh and joke at or to actually learn and try this at home. So, I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a comment below, give us a thumbs up. And before I forget, you can get a copy directly from me. Yes, totally get it from Amazon. That does help, that does support me. But if you want to get it autographed, you can get it through me directly. So send me an email. There's an email. I'll even put a link in the description below so you can do that. And remember, take this back to your dojo, play, have fun, and always be good to your uki. I'll see you on the next episode. Hey there, I really hope you liked this episode. For more content from me, Sensei Mish, hit hit the subscribe button below. If you're not watching this on YouTube, that's okay too. Like, subscribe, share, do all those really cool social media things that everyone asks you to do. And until the next video, train hard, be safe.